After noting hose and OPV positions for later reassembly, remove all hoses with an open-end wrench. Consider padding your wrench with adhesive foam to protect the regulator finish. Remove the OPV and set it aside. Remove any remaining port plugs. Using a blunt brass spade, remove the plastic cap from the lower body. Mount the regulator with a vise handle, DIN fitting up. Using a 6mm straight shaft hex key, loosen the DIN retainer. Do not use a ball-end hex, as the surface area is inadequate and may damage the broach of the retainer. Unscrew the retainer and lift off the DIN knob and set it aside. The hex flats on the DIN housing are shallow to facilitate rotation of the DIN knob. If a corroded DIN housing resists loosening and an open-end wrench is used to loosen this fitting, all of the force is concentrated on 2 hex flats, and there is a risk of fracturing a point if excessive force is required. Instead, a 6-point socket will apply force on all 6 sides of the fitting. However, most standard sockets have a chamfer, which further decreases the area over which force is applied. Consider taking a 6-point deep socket and grinding the chamfer flat to unscrew a tight and corroded fitting. Using your choice of 3/4 inch or 19mm tool, and with steadily increasing pressure, unscrew the DIN housing in a counterclockwise direction. Remove the O-rings from the DIN retainer and DIN housing with a thin pick. Push out the filter with a thin wooden dowel and remove its O-ring. Using a number 5 hook spanner with the pin set to the depth of the dimple, loosen the lower body in a counterclockwise direction. Maintain control of the pin so that it does not skip out of the recess and mar the finish of the regulator. Do not remove the lower body yet. Remove the regulator from the vise handle and, holding the regulator lower body down, carefully unscrew the lower from the upper body. Maintain firm pressure holding the 2 parts together as you unscrew. Without pressure, the internal spring risks damaging the last thread as the 2 parts separate. Carefully separate the halves. Do not insert any metal tool into the bore of the upper body. The volcano orifice is extremely delicate. Any scratch on the orifice will cause IP creep, necessitating replacement of the entire upper body. Lift out the mainspring from the lower body. Pull the piston from the lower body with a slight rocking motion. The 2 washers, one on each end of the spring, may or may not drop out. Frequently, either washer may stick lightly to its land in the piston head and upper body. They can be removed with a fingernail or plastic pick. Using a thin pick, remove the O-ring from the piston shaft. This O-ring is quite stiff and may require pick maneuvering to slide it over the shoulder of the land. It may in fact fracture on removal. Remove the O-ring from the piston head. Using a high-pressure seat extractor or a 1.27 millimeter hex key, fit your tool in the tiny hole in the shaft from the piston head end. Carefully push the seat out of the recess at the top of the piston. Do not use a sharp pick or even a thin blunt pick, as it will likely pierce a stuck seat before dislodging it from the tiny recess at the top of the piston shaft. Lay out all parts in a logical fashion for cleaning and reassembly. This completes disassembly of the Dive Gear Express first stage regulator. Dive Gear Express videos are made available for educational purposes only, to provide general understanding of scuba diving related topics and not to provide specific advice. Please read the essential information page at the URL shown.